Good morning. Good morning or good evening if you're in the US of A. Good morning, good morning. I hope you all are doing well. Hey girl! Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, I haven't even said anything and then you're already sending the hearts. I love it. Oh my gosh, so someone that I know, actually a little two someones that I know, has a birthday coming up in a couple of hours. Yes. What time? It's like 8, 9, it's like 8 o'clock there, yeah, so. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to join, so I'm gonna do a scope about what is international education. Yay! Talking about international education, study abroad, all the abroad programs that I'm really interested in. So I'm probably gonna stall for a few more minutes, see if some more people join, and then I'll just kind of get started. I had a meeting early today, but it got canceled. Okay, go order your pizza and then come back. And if you start in the middle, just watch it and then catch the replay. So I'll be here. So yeah. Like I said, I'll stall for a few more minutes, but I guess while people are still joining, I'll go ahead and introduce myself officially. So my name is Giovanni. I'm also known as the Natural Travelista. I'm a natural hair and travel blogger, and I'm also a current Peace Corps volunteer serving in the Philippines. I've been here almost 2 years now. I'll be ending my contract in a couple of months, and I'll be coming back to the U.S., but I'm also very, very, very passionate about international education and study abroad and student mobility programs. So I wanted to just share a little bit of my knowledge. I've got some Wi-Fi and some time. So when you have Wi-Fi and time, that means do a scope. So let me go ahead and get started. So the title of this scope is called What is International Education? A lot of people hear study abroad, they know what that is. And they know about internships and working abroad, but they may not necessarily know the full extent of international education and know that those things fall under the umbrella of international education. So very simply, what I think international education is just the global perspective of education. So not necessarily education that you've gone through, K through 12 education in college, but education all around the world. Hey, you're back. So yeah, I was just saying that international education is pretty much education with a global perspective. So thinking about education besides just your hometown, just besides elementary school, junior high, high school, college. But like I said, thinking with a global perspective and bringing those global issues into the classroom. Or if you think externally, sending students elsewhere. So a lot of what people think about international education is study abroad and student mobility programs. And you can think of it two ways. You can think of it as sending U.S. students outward and into the world to do study abroad, or it can also be international students coming into the U.S. Studying here at our schools. And that's still study abroad, but from an international student's perspective. International education can also be an international curriculum. So if you've heard of like IB programs and things like that, or some of these charter schools, they have curriculums that have international components built into it, whether it's service learning projects or like cross-cultural fairs. A lot of universities have some kind of international education week or global affairs, cultural day and things like that. So if you've ever attended a salsa class or you've gone to an international cooking fair or workshop, that's still international education. So I just like the plant is in my way. Okay, let me shift a little bit. Sorry about that. But yes, so that is international education, and a large component of that is built on the premise of mutual understanding, which I think is very key in the world that we live in today. A lot of things that causes confrontation and problems are because people don't understand one another. People people think with their own lens and they don't think about everyone else. So like I said, it's all about mutual understanding. So going and finding out other people's cultures, why they do the things that they do. And usually mutual understanding, even if you don't come to an agreement, at least you understand where that person is coming from. So that is a large part of international education. It's a growing field. You'll see it very popular in universities, but you can also find it, like I said, with study abroad programs that are being offered. So if you follow my blog, The Natural Travelista, I do a lot of, well, not a lot, but I do a fair amount of international education talk. So I talk about my experience doing study abroad in Costa Rica, and I post some articles about current international education topics and things like that. And I plan to do a lot more. So look forward to that. This is really a quick scope and a little bit of a rant scope. So if you have questions, you can ask me. If you have any questions about international education, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be posting more blog posts where I can actually think my thoughts through, plan them, and have them up there for you to see. Any questions? Oof, it's hot. I might have to go back inside soon. Thank you for the hearts. Hopefully I can come back and do a more structured Periscope about international education. I have a lot of topics lined up. I have one that's talking about 3 ways to market yourself and study abroad. I've got another one talking about the #1 reason you should study abroad. Those are the 2 Periscope topics I have in my mind. So hopefully I can do those in the next few months. And maybe I can talk about study abroad programs that you can look into and things like that. So yeah. I always do quick scopes, probably because I'm always nervous that the internet is going to run out, or that I'm not going to have time, or that I'm going to be interrupted. Because, as you know, Caprice, you never know who's going to interrupt you at any time. Could be kids, could be a dog, could be my neighbor screaming my name. But I'm lucky because I'm in a coffee shop right now, and it's... Oh, did I have any fears before studying abroad? I think the one fear, and that's a good topic. I should do a whole, or roosters. You know, my roosters are gone now. I had 3 of them behind my room, all gone now. I asked my neighbor what happened to them. He said, we ate them. I said, okay. So we have not had roosters since January. I know that's a really random topic, but no one else is here, so we can talk. But okay, my biggest fear before studying abroad, I think before I knew where I was going, before I even knew I was going to Costa Rica, I think I was nervous about what type of safety I was going to be in, what type of environment I was going to be in. There's always a slight fear of the unknown. So before I knew where I was going, I didn't know what to research. I didn't know what to do. So I was just sitting there. I knew I wanted to go, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. So that was my biggest fear, trying to figure out where I wanted to go, where I would feel comfortable. After I got assigned to Costa Rica, I'm trying to think what was one of my biggest fears. I think my biggest fear was food. Because I had been taking Spanish, so the language I knew would be difficult, but not necessarily a fear of mine. I was nervous because I didn't know. Everyone goes there for vacation, and it's a very tropical country and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you don't know what the culture is like until you actually get there. So I was nervous about food. Would I be able to drink the water? Would the food be completely different, or if it was something I'm similar to trying? And how to not be offensive. If I didn't want to eat what you're putting in front of me, how do I, not compromise myself, but how do I also just say, I'd rather not, or I'm full, or something like that. How do I get my thoughts across without being offensive? So I know that was a big fear of mine, food and being culturally sensitive. I think also being gone for so long, because that was the longest I had ever been away from my family. And I mean, I had went to school in Hampton, which was like 14 hours. Was there anything that you were not expecting, like stereotypes? Okay, remind me to get there. Let me finish this thought. Sorry, we have elections, so for elections, they ride around in these trucks and they have these huge speakers. That's what they do for elections, and they have like the billboards. They're the loudest campaigns I've ever heard in my life. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it was the longest time I had ever been away. Even though I went to school 14 hours away in Virginia, my mom could still get to me. My mother, you know my mom, she likes to travel, so it was no thing for her to hop in her car and come down to see me. She came to visit me like every semester, I think, just because she just liked my school too. But yeah, so when I knew I was going so far, I knew that I was going to be slightly cut off from my family and cut off from like that reach and that support. So that made me really nervous because I was like, I can't just pick up the phone and call my mom. And I think I didn't realize how close I was with my mom until I realized that I needed to talk to her almost on the daily. Or like, oh my gosh, something happened, I need to tell my mom. I'm like, oh, I can't use my phone, gotta wait till there's internet. So I didn't think that was a fear until it actually happened. Like, it's like, oh gosh, I'm gonna be gone away from these people for 4 months. Granted, there was communication, but still, it was tough to get acclimated. And things weren't, I mean, granted, I studied abroad in 2011, but still, things were not as advanced as they are now. Like, you've got Periscope now, you've got Snapchat, and all these different things. And I also, did I have an iPhone at the time? I can't remember, but like iMessage wasn't as popular. So there was a lot of things that just made me really nervous. So that was that. Anything, okay, you said your question was about stereotypes. Anything I wasn't experiencing like stereotypes. I was called Negrita a lot, which I was expecting. They told me, I talked to some other people that had studied abroad in Costa Rica, and they said they're going to call you a little black girl. They're going to call you, hey, black girl, all the time. So I was expecting that. Anything else I wasn't expecting, like stereotypes? Oh, I guess I was making stereotypes of Costa Ricans or Ticos and Ticas on my end. So I thought that they were going to be very like Hispanic looking and very Latina, and I don't know, I had this image in my head of like, you know, mulatto and like olive skin and stuff like that, and that's not, I saw the whole mix. Like, if anything, the Costa Ricans, the Ticos and Ticas were lighter than what I was expecting. I remember staying with my host family, and one of their friends came over, and this boy had red hair, and I think like blue eyes or something like that. And I like had to ask him, you know, what's your name? And I think I might have asked him where he was from, because I didn't believe that he was a local. I didn't believe that he was Costa Rican. I was like, but you have red hair, and you look, you know, white American, or you look Caucasian, you look European, you don't look Hispanic or Latino at all. So I think that was one of the stereotypes that I made. I don't know if I necessarily got any stereotypes from my end, because the school that I went to, they have a very strong study abroad program. So people are coming in and out, international students coming in and out all the time. And I didn't really travel, now that I'm looking back on my time, I didn't travel to any of the remote areas. So like here in the Philippines, you know, I'm in a small town where people will be surprised, they shocked every time they see me, because they're like, oh my gosh, a black person in real life. That wasn't the case that I experienced in San Jose in Costa Rica, or like Monteverde, or anything like that. But yeah, not too many stereotypes. I guess there was some stereotypes about being American that they assume like, oh, yes, okay. There was one, my host mother, she's an older lady. She's a grandmother and stuff like that. Really sweet. But one day for breakfast, like she was making some great breakfasts, like gallo pinto, which is like rice and beans, and we had fresh fruit juice every morning. Oh my gosh, que rica. There was like fresh pineapple juice, fresh watermelon juice, fresh papaya juice, all that stuff. So one day I'm coming down and I'm expecting like so much fresh food and, you know, some gallo pinto and everything else. I walked and this lady had a fully wrapped, like it was still in the wrapper, hamburger on my breakfast plate. I said, okay, it was still in the wrapper, so I said, maybe this is a breakfast sandwich. Maybe, you know, breakfast sandwich. Very nice. I opened it up. No, it sure was a hamburger, 2 buns, and a beef patty in the middle. And I'm like, okay, appetizer, maybe, you know, this is just to hold me over until the real breakfast comes out. So I'm sitting there with this one hamburger wrapped in on the wrapper on the plate. And I'm like, okay, so I'm sitting here waiting. Nothing else comes out. I get that hamburger and I get some coffee. And I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I will drink some coffee in Costa Rica because it is so freaking good. But yeah, that was my breakfast. And she's like, you know, Americans like hamburgers, right? I was just like, yeah, but not for breakfast. So I guess that was one stereotype that she had. It was just like, you know, I've seen this on TV. Americans like hamburgers. There's McDonald's everywhere. There's McDonald's here. So yes, they will eat hamburgers for breakfast. So I thought that was very entertaining. But no stereotypes that were like offensive, if that makes any sense. Oh my gosh, it's getting warm. I'm going to transfer, okay? You can just follow me over here to this seat. Oh. Okay, this is better. Oh, and the lighting's better too. Hey now. So yeah, good questions. Thank you, thank you. And make sure, okay, before you go anywhere, slide and share on Facebook and Twitter and share with all your peoples so that they can come back and watch this replay whenever I'm done. Because you got some good questions. And I feel like the information I'm giving is just flowing out naturally. And it should be shared with the world. So, definitely do that. And then when I'm going to save this video and upload it to YouTube so that even after this video expires, people can go back and watch it. And I actually have a few. So, you know, if you want to just splurge on some Giovanni or anything like that, if you go to YouTube after this, I posted a couple more Periscopes from when I was in Palawan. So when I was on vacation, I did one about, actually it's only 2. I still have some more to upload, but I did one from the backpackers hostel I was staying at. So I did a little tour of what that looks like at 5 in the morning while I was heading to the port. And then I have another one talking about being a lazy natural hair and travel blogger because, you know, I'm a natural hair and travel blogger, so I blog about natural hair, I blog about travel, and I talk about traveling with natural hair. But since I've been here, I have not been on it with my hairstyle like this. I've had this bun up for the whole week, and it was right after I washed it. Didn't feel like styling. I'm at a coffee shop right now, so I'm in San Jose, the capital, where you had the CSIG. And where we went to Gaisano, where you got all the fabric. That's where I'm at right now. I don't think we ever came to this coffee shop, but it's in the plaza area. Like I said, I had a meeting this morning that got canceled. Oh yes, and where you had the balloon. You were so funny. I'm sorry. I think I've traumatized you for life. Here goes another campaign. Yeah. So all these people are running for mayors or governors or senators or something, and they just go crazy. Man. Yeah. Like I said, this is the noisiest election I've ever heard. And the thing is, I'm in the office and I hear these things and the songs get stuck in my head and I'm like, no. Hey. But it's neither here or there. It's not international education talk. What else did I talk about? International education. Always take advantage of opportunities. Even if you're not a student, even if you're not in school, you can still be involved in the international education process. So there's a lot of trips you can go on, cultural trips, where you don't have to be enrolled in school, that you can go on. If you want to travel just for a cultural experience, you still can. And some other components of international education, I'm going way back. But study abroad programs, like I said, international students coming here, international curriculum, but also of course the universities and the schools, faculty trainings and stuff like that. So it's one thing to offer study abroad programs, but it's even better if you have faculty and staff that have also been abroad and have also experienced these things and can give you expertise. So if you go to a school and you have a lot of professors that have done research abroad or have did some kind of field case study while traveling abroad, that really helps because they give you a global perspective. So even if you're like a business major and you're thinking, I don't want to go to study abroad, or I can't study abroad, you can still get a wealth of knowledge from your professors, and they can tell you about, economic systems in other countries and business styles and business models and marketing strategies from like Japan and China and other places that have a booming market for economics and stuff like that. I'm not a business person, so I'm just kind of throwing out words and hoping you understand. But I'm trying to get more business savvy, because in the future I plan to turn the Natural Travelista into a full-fledged business. So look out, ma'am. We still need to talk business, okay? I haven't forgotten. I'll keep it on the hush-hush from now, but you got your brand ambassador staring you in the face. Let's get on it. So, yeah, man. I got a book that you should read. You might really enjoy it. It's really easy to read. It's about entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurs. So, yeah. Let's get it poppin'. Alrighty. I can't share with people right now, but I will later. So yes, I have some blog posts I need to write out, and I've got some business stuff and some transactions I need to do here in town. So I'm gonna get ready to go. And I know you need to gear up for your birthday, ma'am. But I'll come back later. You'll see when I'm online. I'll do another scope. And I'll talk to you all later. Thanks so much for the hearts, Caprice. You are the best. I need you to be on all my Periscopes. Like, you will be my hype man. You will be like my co-host, my silent co-host. You'll be the one sending the hearts. You'll be the one sharing. You'll be the one making the comments. Yeah, I've got some ideas churning up here. Okay, so no, for real though, I'm gonna go because it's getting hot once again. I'm in the shade, but it's hot out here. The hot season is coming, man. There hasn't been any rain during the rainy season. Now it's about to be hot. I don't know how I'm gonna survive this heat. You ain't gonna never see me outside. Oh, salamat po, salamat gid. You're so good. Oh man, I wish you would have came earlier in my service, so then you would have been able to come back later, man. But yes, I feel like since you've been here, you're only here a week, but I feel like you experienced my whole Peace Corps experience with me. Yeah, man. Okay, so let me do my closing. So once again, if you're catching the replay or you're catching the tail end of this, I'm Giovanni, also known as the Natural Travelista, natural hair and travel blogger, and also the founder of HBCUs Abroad, a travel initiative sending HBCUs to study abroad all over the world. And I'm also a Peace Corps volunteer serving here in the Philippines. So you can find me online, the Natural Travelista, or the Naturalista, Natravelista, okay? Find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Pinterest, all that. Okay? So I'll catch you on the next go.